there, everybody. This is Kristin from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you with this week's mindfulness meditation practice. And we are in the month of slowing down. And so, of course, there are a variety of literal interpretations that you can apply to this, and there are some that maybe are a little bit more abstract. And so the first week we talked a little bit about literally trying to slow down as far as not rushing around, not overscheduling ourselves. And for this week, the area of focus that I wanted to offer to you is aligned with that, also kind of tangential to it. And that is probably best summarized in the phrase of the cult of productivity. And so here's what I mean by that. We all have a lot to do. Like, I know that. I get it. It's crazy. The expectations that are put on us professionally, of course, and the expectations that are put on us either by ourselves or by others in our personal lives. And as you know, I think we all know deep down, we cannot do all of it. All the things that it doesn't matter how many productivity hacks you use or how efficient you are or how many systems you put into place. You really can never get it all, whatever the all is, done. You just can't. It's not a possibility. And so I think it's really healthy for us first to acknowledge that. And then secondly, to loosen the quality of obligation that I think we often feel to do it all. And accompanying that, and this is something you may experience, and I definitely can experience from my own sort of world and life, is also letting go of, establishing your self-worth based on your productivity. Now, that sounds pretty heavy, and it doesn't have to be, but the point is there's nothing wrong with wanting to get stuff done, and there's nothing wrong with feeling really good about it. I mean, what I typically do with my schedule during the week is I tend to do my work in the morning, and then it's exercise, and then I'll do home related things in the afternoon. That's just kind of how it works out for me. And I will admit that I can get into my midday feeling like a champ because I've really just, very, very successfully and hopefully with ease gotten all my stuff done that I was hoping to do that day. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's also an accompanying sort of, element that we also need to acknowledge, which is we shouldn't be putting all this pressure on ourselves to always be, crushing it 24/7, all the time, because it's just not realistic. And that's where this, the more unhealthy inclinations and attitudes come to, where we feel bad about ourselves if we have an off day or if things don't work out or, all of that kind of thing. So I could go on. I think you're probably getting the point, which is allowing yourself just to let go of equating your value with your level of productivity, and also really just acknowledging that we can't do it all, and the less pressure we can put on ourselves outside of the external pressures that in some cases we don't have any control over, the less pressure we put on ourselves to try to get it all done, whatever that might mean for us, I think the happier and the better off that we'll be. So that is my invitation to you this week. It's just to reflect on this concept of the cult of productivity and how have you integrated elements into your life, perhaps not even in a knowing, not knowingly. And are there some ways that you can loosen the habits around that and the attitudes around it so that you can be a little bit more gentle with yourself? I mean, honestly, that's really what it comes down to, is gentleness and self-acceptance and giving ourselves breaks, particularly at this time of year. So all of that being said, this is a perfect opportunity for us to take 10 minutes just to allow ourselves to be still, to be present, and just to settle into our meditation practice. So let's go ahead and do that. I've set my timer for 10 minutes, closing my eyes, or you can lower your gaze. And you may notice I rolled my shoulders back a few times. I always feel inclined to do that at the outset. Often I find my posture has returned to a little bit more of a slump, but just allowing those shoulders to roll back, your shoulder blades to slightly go down your back. And it might feel a little bit like you're sticking your chest out, but that's fine. If anything, you're opening up this heart center, not only for the emotional space that is useful, but also allowing yourself to have space for those deeper, slower breaths, which, if you haven't already, I'd like for you to begin. As many as you like. Remembering you can always come back to deeper breathing during your practice and also outside of your practice, just when you're going about your day. It can be very grounding and stabilizing. And we're feeling a quality of tension or tightness as a result of all the things we have to do and take care of during our day. Allowing ourselves to take those deep breaths, like last week when we were talking about the snow globe, just letting the little snow particles, the little sparkles, whatever it might be, allowing them to settle so we can have a little more clarity and, dare I say, skillfulness as we go about our activities. We haven't talked about anchors in a bit. So remembering you can anchor your attention to the breath and sensations associated with the breath. Something very dependable. About resting your attention on the breath. And it's predictable, rising on the inhale and descending on the exhale. And letting that be your tether to the present moment, letting it be your refuge, your connection to the present moment. And you're welcome to keep your attention on the breath, but the other, or an other, possible anchor for your awareness is just to notice sounds. Right now I'm hearing a plane flying overhead. I'm hearing the ringing in my ears. And for sounds that come and go, like a plane or a car or dog barking, if you want to play with it, just noticing if you can note the moment when you can't hear it anymore. any of the anchors you choose, always just having this quality of curiosity and objective interest, letting go of any tendency to express or experience a preference, like I like that sound or I don't like that sound, or any expectations or judgments, like, it's harder for me to focus on my breath today. It's not like it was yesterday. We do all of that evaluating all day long. So this is actually a rest from that. There's nothing wrong with it, but this is our very precious, rare opportunity to not feel like we have to evaluate or fix or assess. Instead, we just rest in this moment-to-moment observational awareness. And then if you'd like to stay where you are, that's fine. But the final anchor I'd like to offer you is to rest your attention on the body. So not just the breath, but perhaps the body in its entirety. Feeling the perimeter where it occupies space. Feeling the density. How gravity is holding you where you are. And you can also just rest your attention on one particular body part, like your face or your feet. And just like with everything else, not telling yourself a story about the sensations or what you're noticing. You're just observing. You're taking a break from all that other stuff for the next few minutes. So whatever anchor you choose, however you want to rest, these last couple minutes, let's sit together in silence until we hear the final bell. that's our 10 minutes. So, I feel like I said it all. I don't need to recap. I think we're good. Have a wonderful week. And of course, as always, thank you so much for taking this time for yourself. And thank you for allowing me to accompany you on this journey. And I hope you have a week with less pressure regarding your expectations of yourself and your productivity. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.